Hello, everybody. My name is Gary E. Shepard Jr., and I will be your host for the Triple X Life No More podcast. And I want to thank every single person that's lending me their ear to take the time to listen to my very first episode. I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. So, without further ado, let me tell you about my background. Okay, see, in my background, I was raised in the church. My Uncle Larry, he would pick us up, me, my brother, and all of my cousins on my dad's side in the church van. So the church van, it was a white van with old silver hubcaps, and on the side it said Inspiration of Jesus Christ. It's the church that my uncle founded. So let me tell you also about my origin of how my addictions started. So my very first encounter started like this. It was the summer of 89, 90, growing up on 506 Garden Street, apartment G. It was a big apartment complex across from the elderly housing. So to give you an idea how big the apartment complex was, it was shaped like a L, like a big L. So just to give you an idea. So one day, me, the second oldest James, and my little brother Anthony, we was all wrestling. You know, we're diehard fans, and, you know, we're wrestling. We're trying to pin each other down. We're trying to do certain wrestling moves. And, you know, the second oldest not letting up. I'm not letting up. Little brother, you know, we overpower him, but, you know, he still keep coming back. And the second oldest, by the way, he's still a fan of wrestling to this day. He goes to every wrestling show that he can. If you have to take an Uber there, if you have to take a train there, he's going to hit every wrestling show that he can that comes here in Connecticut, or even if it's in New York, wherever it's at, he's going to find a way. So, anyways, we're wrestling, and we spill into our parents' bedroom and land on a stack of Playboy magazines spread out on our parents' bed. So, a feeling of curiosity come over us as we flip page after page, like, you know, it's a regular book. This was a time when Playboy had centerfolds, and a centerfold was a poster of certain Playboy bunnies or Playmate of the Year, and the Playmate of the Year was the model that won for that year. So this was also known as softcore pornography. So little did I know that not only did the images register in my subconscious, but this continued act of consuming porn through magazines will come back to haunt me in my adulthood. Man, that's all I can say. You see, I came from an era where porn was not only available on paperback being magazines. I consumed a lot of soft porn shows and movies with adult content. On HBO, I used to watch a show called Dream On, which was a show about a guy who constantly fantasized about having sex with different women. Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, and a documentary called Real Sex. These were movies that were shown late at night back when cable thought the kids were sleeping. Yeah, okay, you thought we were sleeping, cable. Cable used to have a service called pay-per-view to watch championship boxing fights or main events in wrestling, but you could also order Playboy, which was the biggest porn company at this time, next to Penthouse and Hustler. So from paperback to TV to VHS tapes, telling my age. Nah, it's my beard actually telling my age. But anyways, I would wait till my mom was in a deep sleep to sneak and watch the adult content. Now, to give you an idea of how risky this was, the apartment building, the apartment that we lived in, it had a room towards the back. It had two rooms towards the back, the washroom in the back also. And then there was one room towards the front, which was actually mine. And then there was the bathroom. And then from the bathroom, then it was the living room right there. So if you were going to the bathroom, the TV was facing the bathroom, so you can actually see what I was watching. And then from there is the kitchen, and then the back door, and then the front door. So I was really risking it by doing that. Yeah. So there I would be watching the adult content. From there, my mind would never be the same. Still images constantly replayed in my head as I would wake up and do it almost every weekend. So Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, those are the times that I would watch it. I wouldn't watch it during the weekday because, we had school. So, and my mom was, my mom's the sweetest thing in the world, but like, don't get her mad. Yeah. So what I want people to also understand is back when I was growing up around that time, that porn wasn't easily accessible as today's day and age. Back then, the internet wasn't as worldwide as it is today. So you had to really search in the stores. And even when you did, it was hard because you had to show ID to even buy a magazine. And they did very little to cover it. I'm telling you, they put a brown like sheet of paper over the magazine so that you wouldn't look. But I mean, me being a devious kid, I found ways to move that to the left, move it to the right, look over my shoulder because, of course, the store, the people in the store back then, they, of course, when they saw kids in that area, they would kind of brush us off. Even security, they would move us along if we stayed in that area too long. So yeah, this is my my very first episode, and stay tuned. But before we go, let me leave you with these final thoughts. So, the Bible says in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 22 and 23, to purge yourself, verse 22, and to flee from youthful lusts, verse 23, something that I didn't do and I wish I did. 2, what you do in your past will find its way back to you if you don't deal with it. This is something that I didn't know. 3, just because I found Playboy magazines on my parents' bed doesn't mean they're to blame because I chose to continue to consume. I couldn't put the blame on my parents because as I got older, I just continued to consume it. And the last final thought, I decided to do this podcast because there are many that are still battling, and I just want you to know that you can break free, but it's going to be a long uphill battle. Once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me and my very first podcast. I appreciate you so much. Please like, share, comment, share what I want this to be a conversation that will provide a breakthrough for those who have nothing but negative voices in their head, who feel like they can't overcome this addiction because it's been in their life for so long. I want to encourage you today to make that move, to decide that you're going to battle for your freedom. And when you do, God's going to be there every step of the way. So stay tuned. I got some more episodes coming your way. And once again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.